Hi, I'm Andrei Jay.
Hey, I'm Starr.
Welcome to another episode of, what is this shit called again?
I mean,
Video synthesis, Ecosphere, introduction, playing with, learning.
tutorials, experimentation.
Yeah.
You name it.
Yeah. The name is written above this video, so
Right.
I don't need to remember it. It's all good. But what we're going to talk about today is, been getting some feedback from folks, and I think something people really want to know is just like, when you get your auto waves in particular, like, how do you get everything set up? How do you plug everything in? There's a little bit of confusion, and because I'm literally one of the worst people around to explain these things, like, at least in words, we're going to make this video that's just like, what the fuck is all of this shit and how do I plug it in?
Exactly.
So, yeah, so we can see
Auto wave.
you got auto waves. This one is a little bit different. So this unit's a little bit different from all of the other ones because it's got to be able to take audio in and process it. So you see this little thing? So down here at the bottom, this little unit right here, what you see right there and there with the USB sticking out, that is the processor. And that's doing all the video stuff. And then up here on top, with the little audio things that are like popping in and out, that's where you gotta do the audio biz. So that's what makes AutoWave special and what makes it different from the rest. And then we'll just, basically what we want to do here is just go through each one of the pieces that this is going to come with. We'll talk about what it does, and then we'll talk about each one of these little holes in here, what goes in, what goes out, what don't you need to worry about, and then we'll just plug everything in and we'll play with it for a second.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sound good? All right. So let's start off with the USB stuff. So there's a bunch of USB things this might come with. We've got the HDMI capture. So, HDMI capture, you can use this to either get HDMI in, or you can use this to capture HDMI output.
Right.
So this is like double duty. If you get the capture bundle, you get an HDMI thing, so you can do either
Clutch. Very clutch.
Yeah.
And, you know, just plug that right here. And it comes with the extender, so, you know, sometimes trying to plug in multiple inputs can get a little crowded, crowded in there. So it comes with an USB extension for you to just plug that right in.
And does it matter which of the USB ports it goes in?
No.
Yeah,
well,
they're all the same.
Yeah, they're all the same. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah. But yeah, so all of the USBs are just for video or control signals in. There's other ways we can get video in. If you get the capture bundle, you also get one of these. It might not look like this. It's not guaranteed to look like this.
We have a white one as well.
Yeah.
So, but they all do the same thing, and it's the same premise. Another USB extension will come into play. You just want to make that connection, and then boom, plug that right in. And like typically, you know, you're using this as an input, and you're probably not going to be using the HD.
You can't use them both at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you plug them both in, one of them is just going to override the other.
So for the sake of being, I'll unplug the HDMI one.
Yeah, and then all you do is, so you see this thing right here. It's got the dongle, classic dongle form factor. You can kind of ignore these two. But you got the yellow RCA, and you just plug your video source into there. You got S-Video here. That's just, what does it stand for? Separated video? Super video?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what that stands for.
It's a little mini DIN thing. It looks like MIDI. It's not.
Yeah.
But you just plug your video source into here. So this comes from your mixer. This comes from a camera. This comes from what else?
Whatever. Like VHS, DVD player.
Yeah.
My PlayStation. I love that. That's my favorite.
But also, if you didn't get the capture edition, you just got the basic plus, then you'd have a USB camera.
One of these little cuties as your input, and finally the nano.
Yeah. All the auto waves will come with a nano control. This thing is all mapped up. It's ready to go. You just plug and play this.
Right.
and that one will come with the USB that is micro USB.
Yes.
So
just plug that into the side there. And this will be, you know, your second input. You'll have this in, and maybe you have your analog capture routed in here. And it's just, you know,
that's what you do with the USBs. You notice we got the power supply too. The power supply has another USB thing on it. This is
micro.
This one's micro?
Mm-hmm.
That one's mini.
Yes.
This is mini USB.
Yes.
This is micro USB.
Yes.
I always try to, so what I try to do, remember that one is that Microsoft makes software for microcomputers. Then micro is the smallest computer. There were mini computers. A computer used to refer to something that was the size of this entire basement. So then once you had a personal computer, that was called a microcomputer. So micro USB is the smallest one. Mini USB is larger than micro.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the old Razors, flip phone days. That's that. That. You know, that's that port there.
And so we got that, and then what else would we need to plug in? Well, this is everything it comes with.
Yeah, and the breakout cable.
Oh yeah. Breakout
Most
cable.
important thing.
So that's for analog video out.
Yeah.
And you can see what we got on here is, it's called tip ring sleeve, or a TRRS. And what this is actually doing is, like, the tip is a contact, this ring is a contact, then the two sleeves are both different contacts, and it's going out into audio. There's no audio output for these, so ignore that. All you really need to know is sleeve is video, and you just got to make sure that's plugged in.
And, you know, you want to make sure it's plugged into the bottom, because it can fit into the aux, but you know,
it won't damage anything if you do that.
It just, you won't get any signal.
Confused.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it'll go here, right next to the HDMI port.
Make sure it's all the way in tight, because it's sometimes I do this where I'm just like, I got it sticking halfway out, and I thought I got it in, and what did I do wrong?
Right. And you know, you just want to go out from the auto wave, and right now we're going into the Blackmagic so we can play around and see things together.
And then shit it doesn't come with, but you'll want to have, is you want to have one of these little 3.5 millimeter audio cables. And this is for putting audio in. So like we were saying before, on the top here, you can see we got these other RCAs. Ignore those. They do nothing at the moment. They might do something in the future. I don't know. But you plug your audio into here. So audio input goes into here. If you need to monitor things, honestly, try to split it some way before you get in there. And then the best way to do it is to, like, have some sort of gain staging too. There's no gain staging inside of here.
Yeah.
But if you have, like, a tiny little mixing board, or just even like one of those little, like, headphone splitter things with an amp on it, that's like $5. Like, excuse me. Try to grab one of those and, like, use that for your audio.
Okay.
And then for audio today, we're just going to be using the little Korg drum. As always, I'm doing free advertisement for Korg. Their shit is really cool.
Korg.
Yeah, get at us.
What's up?
Yeah,
I mean,
why are we not sponsored by y'all's yet?
Come on.
Who knows?
Come on. I'll get that plugged up in the background for a second.
But yeah, so just to go over the ports on here once again, just to make sure. So we got all of these USBs, and that's where you plug in your cameras and your controller. Only one camera or video capture at a time, and make sure everything's plugged in before you power up. This thing you can ignore for now, is going to come in handy in the future. That's foreshadowing. This is for video out. That's for analog video out. You can also do HDMI video out. We don't include an HDMI cable, but in the next video we'll show you some fun things you can do with this in another unit. This tiny little USB slot is your power.
Yep.
This one is for audio in. These y'all just ignore. So, and the only other thing to really consider is that plug everything else in before you plug the power in.
Yeah.
Because it just needs to have everything able to identify when it powers on, otherwise it'll get confused because it's small and it's kind of dumb. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't have, like, a lot of self-awareness yet.
Fair. Shall we?
Yeah, so let's try the USB camera.
Alright.
power is right over here.
Yeah.
So you see we got everything plugged in. And there's a couple of things you can like you'll be able to see like as like diagnostics if anything's going wrong with your system. There's a couple of lights that'll pop up.
Right. Actually, let's do the whole thing.
Yeah, let's just get everything locked and ready to go.
Oh yeah. All right, and
oh yeah, the little power thing, it's got a switch on it too. Every so often I get an email from someone who's like, I plugged it in, I got no power, what's going on?
Like, oh, did you press the button?
I'm just like, yeah, there's a button on there.
Right.
You can see when it boots up, you should see a little red light right on the top, and you should see red and green blinking lights on the bottom thing here. And that's how you know shit is getting ready.
Oh,
You'll
there
see
we
that
are.
little desktop screen, and then like after about a minute, everything will pop up, and we've got this feed down underneath us is coming directly from the auto waves.
Right. And so I'm gonna get some sound going on the Korg. Let's see what Andrei was last working on.
Probably something glitchy.
Okay. So we hear the beat, it's cute, whatever. And so once I plug it in, and we'll show you how to have, or get this Korg Volca registered with the Nano, so that way it can pick up the sound and audio react to the jams that we're making.
Yeah. So you plug that in, and because we didn't have a splitter set up, you can't hear it anymore.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Yep.
So show us how we, activate, because there's a way to do it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not everyone knows how to turn on the audio reactive. Yeah.
It's really confusing, because that's how I do things. But let me just set things up. So what I'm doing is I'm just making sure we key in some feedback to start with. So we got that going on. I'm doing some directional shit. And you can see that while this is running, while it's plugged in, you got that little red light going on. If you're ever playing it and you don't have that red light going on, there's something wrong. Hit me up via email and we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
You can always, I'm always available for doing these things. But if you contact me via Instagram or via some random forum or Discord or Facebook, let me be frank, I can't check that shit all the time. It's kind of email or nothing.
Yeah, fair.
But what we've got here is these three buttons right on the far left side of the controller are going to control low frequency, mid frequency, and high frequency. And the moment I hit this button and I move this switch, is this not working? Oh my god.
Really? The sliders? They are.
Oh, it's working. It's just
It's on delay.
It's not on delay. It's just way too. What do you got it? We didn't have the right frequencies set up. We didn't have any low end. I was trying to do the low end, and we didn't just have low end coming through. And then the moment I hit the high end one and I turned it up, you can see that what we got is it's moving with the beat. So everything that I move while this button is going on is going to react to the beat. So, and you can do this with every single one of the parameters. I recommend kind of getting started, you go through the wave pool tutorial and go through the wave pool manual first, because that'll give you a feel for what everything does.
Yeah.
And then start to go through with a track that you made or your synth setup and just sort of dial things in and start to get a feel for what these different frequencies actually mean. Because low, mid, high, if you're not if you don't do sound for a living, maybe these things don't make any sense. It's basically this would be kick drum, this is your bass synth, and this is vocals or something. But as you can see, it's kind of all over the place. But yeah, so this is just basically You get your unit, you want to know how to do it, you built your own, like you want to make sure you got everything plugged in right, just go through the steps in this video, and if this doesn't work for you, just give me a heads up, and I'll walk you through it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to talk about in this setup?
Honestly, I think we covered the basics. That is the most key part to me, and just figuring out how to get in and out of different frequencies and what each button does, and how the sliders and how, like, you know, flowing through all these different effects.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
And then one last thing is, so I got this set up, and I'm like, all right, this is great. I kind of figured out how to learn things, but I don't want to use this setup now. Or I made a mistake, and I did this thing, and now I did this one thing, and now it's going to strobe all over the place, and that's like really like harshing my mellow. These two buttons right up in the corner here, hit them both, complete reset. And that'll also work for the parameter locks. We didn't even talk about that here. That's probably another video, but these two buttons reset you right back to the beginning. So we can just start right over again, and we hit high frequencies. Then we hit Z, and then we get the Black Lodge throbbing interface. So yeah, auto waves, quick start.
Yes.
I think we got
coming at you.
All right, thanks a bunch for watching. Let us know in the comments. This is helpful if you having any trouble with this, and if you have any suggestions for future episodes.
Drop them below.
But otherwise, thanks a lot and have fun.
Whee! Exactly.
Whoa. Yeah, once you get the audio going, then you can just button mash.
Yeah.